Other news, Kano Police vows to enforce court order stopping dissolution of states emirates. Tinubu receives delegation of Yoruba leaders, says Nigeria now on the path of prosperity. Party says Edo ESCOs have no power to suspend Abure. Thank you for joining us on News Now. I'm Simisola Adigun. The Kano Police Command says it will enforce the court order restraining the state government from dissolving 5 newly created emirates in the state. The Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Gumel, disclosed this while briefing journalists at the police headquarters in Bompai, Kano on Saturday. During the briefing, Gumel vowed to maintain law and order, assuring that security agencies won't spare anyone trying to tamper peace across the state. The police boss statement comes shortly after the governor of Kano State, Abba Kabir Yusuf, ordered the immediate arrest of the deposed emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero, for allegedly creating tension in the state. The whereabouts of the monarch had been unknown since he was deposed by Governor Yusuf as the 15th emir of Kano State and subsequently announced the reinstatement of Lamido Sanusi, whom Ganduje had deposed in 2020 as emir of Kano. The deposed monarch, who arrived in the ancient city in the early hours of Saturday, said justice would prevail while urging residents to maintain law and order. Well, joining me to give details of happenings in Kano is journalist who's based there, Ibrahim Hassan. Thank you very much for joining me, Ibrahim. Now, tell me, what's the current situation in Kano right now following the State Police Commissioner's promise to maintain the court order dissolving the emirates, the other 5 emirates in Kano?
Thank you very much, Simi. It's a pleasure joining you. There hasn't been any breakdown of law and order. I think the police commissioner is keeping to his promise. There is no tension in any part of the state, and everything is going as it is. The other area, the 16th area, is at the palace, the ceremonial palace of Kano, and then the 15th is at the other palace that is just by the state governor's house. So there hasn't been any breakdown of law and order, just like the police commissioner promised, and is keeping to his promise.
Myself there, carrying out the court order stopping the dissolution of the emirates. Now, what has been the reaction of residents in Kano on the removal of the other 5 or 4 emirs?
Well, from the other parts of the state, there hasn't been anything. I think where much concern is about the Kano Emirates particularly, and then I think so far there hasn't been any serious negative response from the residents. However, people are trying to portray their acceptance of the decision of the state government.
All right then, Ibrahim Hassan, thank you for talking to us. Moving on, President Tinubu has called for the deepening of governance and the reinforcement of leadership across all levels of government and institutions, adding that his administration is committed to encouraging fiscal federalism and strengthening the system to enhance inclusion and equity for all Nigerians. The president who said this when he received a delegation of the Yoruba leaders of thought at the State House on Friday further called for a more effective local government system that fosters community development and delivers the essentials of governance within a strengthened federal structure. This report has more details. The courtesy visit made by the Yoruba leaders of thought to President Bola Tinubu comes just days ahead of his first anniversary as the 16th president of Nigeria. Tinubu says the past 12 months have been fulfilling for his administration, despite the presence of some challenges that are being addressed frontally. While thanking the delegation, President Tinubu urged continuous support and faith in Nigeria, assuring them that his government would live up to expectations. Briefing newsmen on the meeting, Members of the delegation commend the president for his prioritization of investment in infrastructure across various sectors.
We are here to rejoice with the president. You all know how terrible, the problem of Nigeria was, when he was taking over. The country was close, near to the verge of collapse. At the assumption of office, the country was close to collapse. The economy was not favorable. And remember the issue of oil something. Bola Ahmed Tinubu had been bold enough to stop it. And Nigeria has been able to move forward for a year. The country has been sustained, the economy is improving.
Basically, after 1 year of this administration, we had opportunity to evaluate some of the challenges and some of the works that has been done. And we came to the conclusion that the president has done very well, and that the minimum we can do is to show up and further encourage him to do more. We've never had any doubt that the country was in a very bad shape at the point when he took over the administration. And he launched himself, typical him, from his antecedents without missing words, to the job. And yes, there were clear-cut difficulties, but we can see that things are easing up, things are getting better. And we thought that the minimum we should do, first and foremost, is come and encourage him.
Other members of the group promised their commitment to President Tinubu's plan for development at both federal and state level.
He had done it before in Lagos State. And the steps being taken now are part of what happened then, because he is a meticulous planner. So for you to have to be a meticulous planner and to execute the plan to success, it can be done in a jiffy. You can't rush it. So, and that is what we are seeing now.
Today, we have come to say greetings to the very man that we moved the motion in him last year. And I happen to have been the person who moved the motion, that we had confidence in him, and all the Yorubas of different political backgrounds, they assented to it. So coming here today is joyful. We feel great. We listen to him attentively, and we think it is a horse that had seen it all and has done wonderfully. So we thank God for allowing him to perform, and we have not been failed.
The delegates further expressed confidence in the president's effort to leave a lasting legacy of prosperity to future generations, while removing the yoke of poor governance and expanding access to qualitative public goods. Simisola Adigun, TV 360 News. Hours after the suspension of Julius Abure as the Labour Party's national chairman, the party says the executives in Edo State lack the power to carry out such action. In a statement by the party's spokesman, Obiora Ifo, on Saturday, the Labour Party described the purported suspension of Abure by the ward executive of Ward 3, Arue Utomi, Eshan North, east of Edo, as fake. Ifo says the party's national leadership is investigating the letter emanating from Edo on Abure's suspension. He added the party won't hesitate to discipline any member found guilty of flouting the Labour Party's rules. In Lagos, the state government has said it gives training and upgrading of knowledge of its officials a priority, disclosing that it had in the last 1 year trained 60,000 of its officers. The State Commissioner for Establishment and Training, Afolabi Ayontayo, made this known on Friday at a press briefing held at the Bagoda Kaltho Press Center, Alausa Ikeja, as part of activities to mark the first year of the second term of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration. The Commissioner also disclosed that the retirees were also given prompt attention, adding that the state government had from 2019 till date paid 63.8 billion naira to 19,814 retirees across all cadres.
the ministry conducted a training needs analysis, TNA, to identify areas for improvement in the state public service. This analysis provided key insights into 1, knowledge needed by officers, 2, skills required for effective job performance, and 3, competencies essential to achieving the state government's vision. By conducting the TNA beforehand, the ministry ensured training interventions were A, relevant to officers' specific needs, and B, aligned with the state government's goals. This systematic approach led to a successful human capacity development program, allowing the state government to 1, optimize resources, and 2, maximize the impact of training efforts. Accelerated capital development. Under the overarching Human Capital Development Program and arising from the training needs analysis, a comprehensive program was initiated to accelerate the capacity building of officers in the state public service and address the evolving needs and challenges of governance. The initiative encompassed a multidimensional approach aimed at enhancing the skills, knowledge, and effectiveness of public servants.
The State Parastatals Monitoring Office, PMO, has disclosed it is embarking on a working tour to government-owned agencies from June 2024. This was revealed by the Permanent Secretary, PMO, Adetutu Osonsanya, on Friday at a ministerial briefing at the Bagoda Catholic Press Center, Lausa, Ikeja. According to Osonsanya, the exercise is set to commence in June 2024 to conduct on-the-spot assessment of the agency's operational activities in a bid to ensure alignment with the government's financial guidelines.
Parastatals Revenue Generation Meeting, which we refer to as PAGEM, it is no doubt the agencies and government-owned companies, they contribute significantly to the internally generated IGR of the state. Therefore, their performance in this regard cannot be left unmonitored. The PMO initiated the Parastatals Revenue Generating Meeting, PAGEM, which was graciously approved and institutionalized monthly by Mr. Governor. And all monthly revenue reports are submitted to the office of Mr. Governor. The meeting is to enable the office to obtain first-hand information on the revenue generation activities of the parastatals, agencies, and government-owned companies, appraise their revenue performance, standardize methods of generating revenue, identify areas of possible collaboration and challenges, and prefer solutions. In continuation of our activities, the office organized workshop themed governance and advancement through synergistic deliverables for CEOs, heads of parastatals, and government-owned companies. During the workshop, sister agencies under the different pillars of the Themes Plus agenda were brought together to interact and synergize. At the workshop, it was emphasized that it is mandatory for heads of parastatals and agencies, parastatals agencies and government-owned companies to embrace synergy as a guiding principle in the fulfillment of statutory roles and responsibilities.
Hundreds of activists have staged a protest against alleged underground moves by some opposition figures in Kogi State, as well as other perceived political enemies, to unleash terror on the immediate past governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, using the platform of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The activists, who also addressed a press conference in Lagos, condemned calls by a group, Zero Corruption Agenda, in collaboration with another group, Kogites United Against Corruption, to the EFCC to ignore court orders guaranteeing Bello's fundamental human right and effect an arrest despite the ongoing court processes. While raising the alarm that there were speculations some desperate politicians plan to attack Yahaya Bello's residences, the CSOs urged the police and other relevant security agencies to be vigilant to prevent anarchy in the country.
Many Nigerians already suspect that the endless reckless attack on the former governor, his family member, and even innocent children by EFCC is most unprofessional way, despite revelation that shows that he was actually protected by the law, have deep political undertones. But the desperation by some opposition figures and Yaya Bello political enemy, to hide under the purported fight against corruption, to call for the arrest of a man who has a court order for his fundamental human right to be protected, and who is already in court, with the EFCC almost confirmed his insinuations of an evil plan against him by some interested politicians using the EFCC platform. This is not difficult to detect. Having seen the composition of the so-called Kogites who made this curious call even in London, the video exposed their ethnic leaning as they were speaking the language of the aggrieved politicians of Kogi State. The courts are there to mediate between the government and the citizens, and between two or more contending interests, and the court's intervention is sacrosanct until overturned by a superior court.
We'll take a break here, but coming up, Golden Eaglets, Nigeria's Golden Eaglets battle Cote d'Ivoire for AFCON ticket. Stay with us for details. We'll return shortly.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
When you go into public office, you must be ready to answer to the people.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places, the Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On Digi 360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians say in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
Digi 360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. Here's a recap of our top stories. The Kano Police Command has said it will enforce the court order restraining the state government from dissolving 5 newly created emirates in the state. The Commissioner of Police in the state, Mohammed Gumel, disclosed this while briefing journalists at the police headquarters in Mokwai, Kano on Saturday. During his briefing, Gumel vowed to maintain law and order, assuring that security agencies won't spare anyone trying to tamper with the peace across the state. We also told you that hours after the suspension of Julius Abure as the national chairman of the Labour Party, the party has said the executives in Edo State lack the power to carry out such action. In a statement by its spokesman, Obiora Ifo, on Saturday, the Labour Party described the purported suspension of Abure by the ward executive of Ward 3, Aroe Utomi, Esha North East of Edo as fake. Ifo says the party's national leadership is investigating the letter emanating from Edo on Abure's suspension. In case you missed any of our news bulletins or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV and AVO TV, or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. On business, the Managing Director and Chief Operating Officer of Donnybrook Technologies, Daniel Akintola, has emerged as the first African student to win the prestigious Entrepreneur of the Year Award for Digital Television. Donnybrook Technologies and the Redeemed Christian Church of God collaborated to create Open Heaven Prime, which is Africa's only free-to-view TV streaming service. Speaking with TV360 Nigeria on his landmark achievement, Akintola, an alumnus of the Chief Executive Program of the prestigious Harvard Business School, says becoming the first African to receive the award in the history of Birmingham University is a call to do more in catering for several broadcast needs of African media consumers.
It's a drive to encourage and motivate we, the African student, that yes, we too, we can raise the bar in innovation. We too, we can make heads to roll in anywhere, regardless of the creed or race, because we also have things to bring to the table in terms of disruption. Regardless of the numbers of devices in your household, you can watch OH Prime and you are not paying a dime for it. Other streaming platforms will tell you that, okay, it's only one device, it's only two devices, you can connect. You can connect unlimited devices and it will never buffer.
And on the foreign scene, Israel has continued to bomb Gaza, including Rafah, despite an order from the UN's top court for it to immediately halt its military offensive in the southern city. At the same time, renewed efforts are underway in Paris aimed at securing a ceasefire in the war sparked by Palestinian militant group Hamas' unprecedented October 7 attack on Israel. In a case brought by South Africa alleging the Israeli military operation amounts to genocide, the International Court of Justice has ordered Israel to halt its Rafah offensive and demanded the immediate release of hostages still held by Palestinian militants. The Hague-based ICJ also instructed Israel to keep open the Rafah crossing between Egypt and Gaza, which Israel closed before sending troops and tanks into the besieged city and crossing earlier this month. Clashes in London between supporters and opponents of Iran's government have left 4 people with injuries. 1 person was arrested on suspicion of violent disorder following the clashes. Metropolitan Police officers were called to the scene at about 6 p.m. following reports of violence. Pro-Tehran demonstrators had held an event to mark the death of President Ibrahim Raisi, who died in a helicopter crash last week when anti-Tehran protesters held a counter-demonstration and clashes broke out between the two sides. A Metropolitan Police spokesman says 4 people were treated by paramedics for injuries. Well, up next is Entertainment Report on News Now.
Billionaire businessman Femi Otedola has congratulated his daughter, Florence Otedola, also known as DJ Cuppy, on her recent appointment as King's Trust International Ambassador to King Charles III. British monarch King Charles had invited DJ Cuppy to a reception at Buckingham Palace in celebration of the King's Trust Awards 2024. Popular singer Paul Okoye, also known as Rude Boy, has reportedly tied the knot with his girlfriend Ifeoma Ivy. According to reports, the couple recently held their traditional wedding in Abia State. Pictures from the private wedding emerged online on Friday, showing the couple in traditional marriage attires and kneeling before their parents. This is coming amid rumors that Ifeoma is pregnant with the singer's child. And that's it on Entertainment News on News Now. Joy Uchejem, TV360, Lagos.
In sports, a place at the 2024 Africa Under-17 Cup of Nations will be up for grabs when Nigeria and Cote d'Ivoire clash in the semi-final at the WAFL B Under-17 Championship on Saturday at the University Stadium, Accra. Manu Garba's side defeated Niger Republic 1-0 in their second game and thrashed Togo 3-0 in their final group fixture. However, the defending champions are yet to concede a goal in the competition. The former world champions finished top of Group B with 7 points from 3 games, with Burkina Faso finishing in second position. Hosts Ghana and Burkina Faso will clash in the semi-final. And former England and Manchester United captain Wayne Rooney has been appointed as the new manager of Championship side Plymouth on Saturday. A move by Argyle is the fourth managerial role of Rooney's coaching career, which has so far failed to live up to his stellar playing days. The 38-year-old was sacked after just 83 days in charge of Birmingham earlier this year. Rooney won just 2 of his 15 matches in charge of the Blues, which contributed to their relegation to League One. Well, that's all on News Now. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again next time.